Hey guys, this is the second part of my measuring cart project where I'm just sharing the process of building this thing. As I said in the first part, I started this about 2 months ago, and in the first part I sort of explained the basic idea and what I was thinking and how I went about it initially, just testing some things. And in this part, I wanted to share with you the moment of just having the sort of whole idea worked out and what it's gonna look like. And if you didn't watch the two previous videos that I've uploaded, just sharing with you the additions that I've made, then go watch them and you'll see how this thing works. In any case, I'm waiting for my laser module, the laser measuring module. I've ordered it a week and a half ago, and they say that it can measure up to 50 meters with an accuracy of 1 millimeter. So that's right. That is within specs, and that means that I can use it and I can trust it, and if it works, fine. Of course, I don't know what I'm gonna get. And another thing is that before I purchased it, I searched for like a data sheet or some information about it. Couldn't find anything. So I hope that it comes with some sheet of basic instructions, or at least the commands that I need to send to it through serial. The only thing on the page itself where the seller just on eBay, they say that they give you these 4 commands on the character that you need to send through serial just to get the laser to work or to make a measurement. But other than that, I have no idea how it's going to work. But I'm waiting for it, and it's going to arrive hopefully in about a week and a half or 2 weeks. And then I will mount it, and if I can get a good measurement, then I've reached maybe 90% of my expectations from this, and from there on I can just add whatever I want, motor, a mechanism for the pen, which I already have, all these trivial things that just require more work and more additions. So the most important thing is that I will be able to get a good measurement, and from there I'm good. Just to sort of get the feel for it, I'm using this encoder strip, and this encoder strip I basically just mount it between 2 points. It allows me to measure about 30 centimeters, but it measures it good, and it sort of gives a feel of how this thing works. And again, go watch the previous video. There's also a playlist for this project, so you can search there. Just to cover some additions that I've made here before I turn it on and just show you. It's an Arduino, that's the main part of it, an LCD, as you can see. I wasn't planning of using a remote for this. I ordered this again off eBay just to play around with it, but then I thought, well, it's a measuring device, and once it's set up, I don't want to move it, I don't want to mess around with it, so it's a nice addition, this remote, and I don't need to add a panel or buttons or anything like that, so it saves me the trouble. And here there is a laser module. It just gives a marking. It's a cross, a laser with a cross pattern, and it will just give a marking. And this is the new housing that I made for the encoder strip, so that I can just mount it straight and not get any sort of awkward movements inside the encoder. That's about it. I'm gonna turn it on just to show you the sort of basic menu that I've added. Let me just without shortening anything out here. We need something to put this on. Yeah, this will do. There. So now you can also see the display. if you can see, there is a laser here and it makes a cross, and in the demonstration video that I've added, then you can see it more clearly from a different angle. But this is the basic screen, so I just have a function of going into settings, and if I press well, the settings key, and I need to do it with the sensor, then I'm going into a mode, and then I can press the 2 key and I can choose which mode I want. And the first mode is the modular mode. I just gave it that name. And you can see that when I move the encoder strip, then I'm basically taking a measurement. And again, it doesn't give me a whole bunch, a whole length to measure, just a short one. But by the way, these encoder strips, I found them on eBay. They can reach up to 7 meters and with 180 dpi, so that could be a solution maybe in a cleaner environment or something like that, but at metalwork I don't think so. In any case, this is the first mode, and I'm going to talk about it in a moment. And I can go back to the main menu just by pressing star, and then I can go again into the settings and change the mode to not this one, but number 4, which is fixed. And this is what I said in the first video, where I just want to get a cart that will move a fixed length and just set a mark. So there is a fixed length of 200 millimeters, for example, and I can increase it and I can decrease it. It's a rough program inside. There are some bugs that I need to fix, and nothing here is like the end result. Maybe I will make the increments also in tens or make it easier. But in any case, this is the fixed mode. If we go back to the live mode, which to the modular mode, then the idea behind it is I've made here this drawing. I like to draw things, but you can see this is a sort of this is what it will look like on the actual drawing. You can see here there is the isometry of the support beam, and you can see all those plates and elements that I told you need to be added. And here there is the top view, and basically what you do is you start from point 0 and you just put a long measuring tape on it, and then you just go to this first point where this part should be, and you make a line, and then you go to the next point where this part comes and you make a line, and you also write next to them the name of the part and a direction of the way that the part will be assembled. There are holes that needs to be drilled, and they also require measurements, and there are a lot of things that you need to mark before you can actually start working. So the whole idea of this is that the first part of just making all those marks will be carried out by this device here, and not necessarily making the marks, because I sort of thought a bit about it a bit more, but it will help the metal worker to make this work a lot easier, and this work does require time. So you can see here on the display that I have the distance that I'm measuring. So if I move the sensor, you can see I'm taking a measurement, and underneath I have the part number, and I have the distance from of the part number from the 0 point. So right now it's like on 101, and that's the first plate here, and the first plate happens to come on the minus side of the 0, so it will just say minus 25. But I can just scroll through the parts. So part 2 should come at like 1000 millimeter. This is only an example, of course, and you can see here that at 1000 millimeter there will be this part P102, and that's the whole idea. So at work, I don't need to use the drawing and I don't need to drag all these things with me. This unit will provide all the information that I need to get this job done in the best way. It will give exact measurements, exact markings. There will be less margins for error, and it's a cool idea. That's it. So yeah, as you can see, I can scroll through the parts, and here I happen to have only about 7 different parts, but they come in different places, so they will also have replicas here where they come in other positions. But that's the idea, and as I said, I'm hoping that my laser module will arrive shortly, and then, well, first of all, there will be the learning curve of that, so I need to understand how I work with it, and hopefully it will come with instructions, and if not, then it will be just a process of trial and error until I get it to work. And once I get it to work, then I will mount it here. I will remove this unit, this plate. There will be a plate here. As I said, at the end there will be a box, and the laser will just shine here from the back. I was thinking maybe of just, I have here the slot, maybe it will fit. And yeah, that will come in part 3. Right now I finished this, so I'm just sitting here waiting for that package. So that means that next week I'm gonna focus on making part 3 for the Z80 build. And just as a mention, I was thinking, should I make the input-output first, or should I make the RAM-ROM first? But I decided to go with the RAM-ROM and the CPU together and make a small program and run it and see the results that we get. But that's it. I hope you like this update, and if you like this project, then subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.